I'll give you one story that probably illustrates the intensity of his business mind. Well, when we started Charter, the only management was the three of us. So we had our management meeting in Naples, Florida. And so far, we had not gotten anything done. So we're at dinner one night, and Jerry, you can tell, is just furious. I mean, he was mad. And finally, we said, Jerry, what's the matter? He said, you guys aren't worried enough. You guys aren't worried enough. That tells you a little bit about who he is.
Well, I was born in Granite City, Illinois, right across the river from St. Louis. Attended Washington University, and while I was graduating, I met Howard Wood, who was a partner at Arthur Andersen.
I hired him. Jerry and I have worked together for basically since he got out of college.
One of my clients approached me about running mergers and acquisitions for an upstart cable company. And I thought long and hard, and I was young, single, and maybe a little naive, but I thought it was ever time to become an entrepreneur. That was it.
He had a very successful career going at the accounting firm when he left to go to the cable company. I obviously tried to talk him out of it.
We left and started Charter Communications in January of 1993. Grew to about 1.4 million customers when I met Paul Allen, co-founder of Microsoft. He foresaw the importance of the internet. So in 1998, we merged in with his holdings. I continued on as CEO. In November of '99, we took it public in what was then the third largest IPO in U.S. history. Stayed with Paul till about right after 9/11 and started our current parent company, Sequel 3. Back in the cable business with Suddenlink, which we sold for $9.1 billion about a year and a half ago.
In today's parlance, you could say Jerry's old school. And everyone would say, he's tough, but he's fair, and he's got tremendous integrity.
But our main business now is TierPoint. We provide white glove, custom-tailored IT services to our customers.
Jerry is a solid CEO who has proven it over and over again and is still proving it.
The key to entrepreneurial success, I think, is to believe in yourself and be willing to take a risk, a calculated, educated risk. And I think across all the companies that I've worked with Jerry over all these years, that is what I've seen him do.
When Jerry looks at these companies and his investment, he's thinking not just about his own bank account or the thing that's immediately in front of him. He's thinking about the 2,000 people that work at his company and how that impacts them and their families and everything else.
It's all about family first. It's about putting your best effort forward. It's about always satisfying the customer objective. It's about integrity. It's about loyalty. And it's about really just giving the very best you can.
You can't argue with the track record. So, it's probably the best track record, ever.
Thank you, Emily, and good evening. It is my pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce my friend and this year's Arch Grants Entrepreneur Award recipient, Jerry Kent. Jerry is an entrepreneur and trailblazer in the telecommunications and technology industries, and has founded and led multiple highly successful enterprises in St. Louis and beyond. He co-founded Charter Communications in 1993, leading it to become the fourth largest cable company in the country. He later co-founded Sequel 3, through which he has developed a series of other highly successful enterprises. They include a current venture, TierPoint, which is a leading provider of hybrid IT solutions, AAT Communications, which became the largest privately held wireless tower company in the U.S. before it was sold in 2006. And another cable broadcast company, Suddenlink, which was acquired in 2015 for $9.1 billion. In addition to his prominent role as an entrepreneurial leader, Jerry has also been a standout in this community, growing multiple companies here, and is a member of Civic Progress, on the board of trustees and executive committee for Washington University in St. Louis, vice chairman of the Magic House Children's Museum Board of Directors, and chairman of the St. Louis Zoological Park Subdivision or Subdistrict Commissioners. Jerry is Jerry here? Supposed to be here somewhere. Okay. Jerry and I share a similar commitment to making St. Louis a great place to live and work for all of St. Louis. We both understand how important it is to create a successful business that employs people and allows them to prosper. We also share a commitment to leverage our success to bring attention to the causes that are important to us and are needed in our community. I can think of no better recipient of this award than my friend and colleague, Jerry Kent. Jerry, I hope you're here somewhere.
Good evening, everyone. When I met Emily, I heard that story about Pretzel's Bakery. And I was one of those Warshue students who would take a break now and then, and around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, I would go over there for a donut or a bagel. So in a roundabout way, her family had a little bit of contribution to my success. I want to thank Michael. Michael actually literally got off the plane from a business trip in Europe and came straight over here. So I really appreciate it. I want to thank him for that introduction and the kind words. And now there's at least just 2 old guys on stage with all these young people instead of just 1. So I appreciate the support. And as last year's honoree, he knows how much this award means, and I'm really honored to have my name listed next to Michael's and to share the stage tonight with this year's grant recipients. I'd like to thank several other people joining us tonight. First is my wife, Judy. What can I say? Everyone knows she's the better half. She's been my constant companion and strongest supporter for nearly 30 years now. And God knows it's not easy being married to a serial entrepreneur like me. Just like the time when she was pregnant with our daughter, Rachel. Rachel's here tonight. I came home one day and told Judy I was all in starting up a new company called Charter Communications. And she was all in also. She supported me through that, and she really supported me through everything, through good times, certainly some challenging times, and I couldn't have done it without her. But I'll clap to that. My parents are also here tonight, and Mom and Dad, your character and values have shaped me in every step of my career. So to you and our various friends and colleagues who've joined us tonight, thanks for taking the time to share this moment. It really means a lot. Now, this award really means so much because in 6 short years, Arch Grants has become such an important part of the economic heartbeat of this region. Now, Emily shared the numbers earlier. 114 funded companies have attracted approximately $120 million in follow-on capital. And of those 114 companies, 103 of them are still operating, and 88 of them are still operating in the St. Louis area and are contributing numerous jobs to our community and economy. So think about that for a moment. 88 of 114 funded companies are still operating in St. Louis. That is truly remarkable, and I can't imagine very many organizations can lay claim to a batting average as impressive as this one. So we're really lucky to have Arch Grants on the same team as the rest of us, who certainly have a vested interest in the success of the St. Louis region. Now, I proudly tell people as I travel around the country that I was born in St. Louis, and they're going to bury me here too. The problem, though, is that, some people in St. Louis sometimes are our own worst critics. For example, we often bemoan the acquisition of St. Louis-based corporate giants of years gone by. But what these individuals forget is that we still have so many good things going for us. We enjoy a standard of living here that outshines other major metro areas. Did you know that in a study conducted by the Federal Reserve, St. Louis's standard of living, measuring personal income and cost of living, is better than 94% of all other U.S. metropolitan areas? Got a lot to celebrate there. We also have world-class universities with really outstanding leaders. And thanks to the work of Arch Grants and others, we're a nationally recognized startup community. Just within the last 2 years alone, Popular Mechanic ranked St. Louis #1, yes, that's #1, on its list of best startup cities in America. Further strengthening our rating, Business Insider ranked St. Louis #1 on its list of the 10 fastest growing technology startup scenes in the U.S. Now, even CNN chimed in, labeling St. Louis a high-tech hub of the Midwest. Now, long before these accolades, my business partners and I knew that St. Louis was a great place to headquarter our companies. St. Louis has consistently been the backdrop of our success stories, including the primary company that I'm now representing, which is TierPoint. TierPoint is the culmination of a series of strategic acquisitions over the last 7 years. Together with organic growth, TierPoint earned the #2 spot on this year's Business Journal list of the fastest growing companies in the St. Louis area. So at TierPoint, we help more than 5,000 clients get more from their IT investments, designing, building, and managing the most efficient and effective solutions for cloud, disaster recovery, data security, cybersecurity, and other data center needs. Now, at TierPoint, among the values that are central to the culture, there are honesty and integrity. Mary actually said some of these: honesty, integrity, family values, superior customer service, and corporate citizenship. That last value of being a good corporate citizen is all about civic leadership, about giving back to the communities where we do business. That has been a central principle of all of our companies, and it was a primary reason behind our decision to partner with Arch Grants and launch earlier today a new program, one that will award free use of $200,000 in cloud computing service credits to new and emerging businesses in the bi-state region. Between now and January is when we expect to announce the recipients of these credits, we'll work closely with Arch Grants, their staff, the board members, and affiliated groups to identify companies that have outgrown the capabilities of their current systems and have the greatest need for new cloud computing environments over the next 12 months. We're doing this because, based on our experience, as they evolve, many startups find it necessary to upgrade their IT infrastructure to accommodate current and future growth. They may also need help with managing the performance, security, and the cost of that infrastructure so they can focus more of their time and energy on their core business. We want to thank everyone at Arch Grants for working with us on this new program and for all the work that they're doing to support our local entrepreneurs. Certainly, imitation is the best form of flattery, and we're proud to follow Arch Grants' lead in helping strengthen St. Louis's reputation as a high-tech community. So in closing, I'd like to repeat my personal thanks and gratitude to the leadership of Arch Grants for this award, and I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Thank you.